What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Y'all should be able to hear me. Yep, y'all can hear me. We good to go. We are back. We are back. We are back. Glad to have y'all here in the building. Y'all already know the deal. Y'all already know the routine. Make sure you hit the like button whether we catching it live or you catching it after it's uploaded. Make sure you hit the like button. Gonna be talking about, and I'm gonna say somewhat reluctantly talking about the Brittany Renner Andrew Tate thing. I kind of washed my hands with it. I was done with it. It looked like Brittany Renner was in the process of trying to do some little rebrand, and if somebody wants to go through some personal development and take some accountability and look in the mirror privately and do it, that's wonderful, good for them. But when they start trying to fake and bake that kind of stuff live on the internet, it's like, nah. We don't believe you. You need more people. So that's why I was like, I'm kind of done with that. Yeah, I'm not going to be not going to be covering this junk. But someone sent me some clips, some segments of the whole part of it where Andrew Tate was there, and some of it was interesting. Some good conversation was going on there, and so I want to break down and give my thoughts, analysis, and perspective on this because hell, everybody else is doing it. So I figured I'll jump on, board and get a piece of this as well. Figure I'll jump on board and get a piece of this as well. Do it for the algo, bare minimum. Do it for the algorithm. But let's get ready to go. Let's strap on in. As soon as I find my intro, let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up? What's going on, good people? Welcome back. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the show. We are back in the building. Glad I could have everybody here. Is already people that filed in, but only one comment so far. Drop a comment. Let me know that you're in the building. Let me know who's in the building. Drop a comment. But shout out to Snazzy Individual, the only person who's dropped a comment so far. That's interesting. But shout out to everybody in the building. Going to be getting on into this. Chris G in the building. I knew people was going to drop some comments in a little bit. Let me know I ain't talking to myself. Even though I can see people coming on in. But yeah, no. So I'm halfway excited about getting into this one. Halfway. Oh shit, my light's going out in the back. Y'all see that? The light's going out in here. I'm not saying pay the light bill. Boom. But Nick Taylor in the building says, here I is. Nick Taylor in the building. Shout out to Nick Taylor. Look. This was one, like, I enjoyed covering the Meg Thee Stallion Tory Lanez situation. I actually enjoyed covering that. I didn't think I was going to enjoy covering that much, but I really enjoyed covering that one. This one, the reason, like I said, when I said in the pre-intro ramble, when I was listening to Brittany Renner talking to just Pearly Things, it seemed like she was trying to do a rebrand, and I am not here to participate at all in some Brittany Renner rebrand. If you want to go through some personal journey, go do that on your own. I don't care about the whole public aspect or persona of all of that. I don't care about that at all. That do your own thing by yourself. But so I wasn't even going to cover this. But somebody sent me some interesting parts of it, and it was some parts of it where it's the same old Brittany Renner came out, and it was sort of a little back and forth kind of between her and Andrew Tate. And I think that's what everybody really wanted to see. People wanted to see her and Andrew Tate, have a full on debate. Y'all hang on for one quick second. Y'all look at a 5-year-old picture of, that's going on a 6-year-old picture of me and my son. Hold on for 1 second. Give me 5 seconds. All right, I'm back. I tried to fix my lights. Those lights are going bad on me. I got to replace the lights. I'm going to be revamping a whole bunch of things in here coming up early next year. I shouldn't even be telling y'all, because you tell people stuff, they like to preemptively hate on it. You kind of just got to do it. So yeah, I'm going to be having all kind of stuff, because when I look at what Pearly Things are doing with her show, and how she got it set up with multiple mics, multiple cameras. I got multiple mics in here. I got multiple cameras in here. I just got to get it set up and then build a team and get people in here and then do a show similar to what they're doing right there. It's going to be all that going on in here. So stay tuned coming up next year. It's definitely going to be going down over here, because I be sitting there thinking to myself, when I'm reacting to shit like that, I'm like, I gotta make that kind of content, which I do sometimes, make that kind of content that other people want to react to. So I got to get it live, got to get it popping in here. But shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you hit the like button and let people know that you're in here. That helps with the algo. Shout out to No Country for Old Simps. Shout out for Kevin, Luke, what did I say? Luke, man. Shout out to you. But let's go ahead and dive right on into this thing. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it. Where we at? All right. Picking it up on this part here where they started leading into a conversation about child support. Let's go. Well, child support in marriage in general.
I would just
speaking of marriage, I wanted to know, do you think we're in a post-marriage society? Because on one hand, we hear that women should wait till they're married to have sex, but at the same time, we also—
I didn't know they made them Little House on the Prairie dresses for 6 foot tall women. I didn't know that. I think this is a personal theory of mine. I think she be getting her Little House on the Prairie dresses like special, custom, tailor made, because I don't think they sell those for like 6 feet tall women. That's just my theory. It's just my theory. All right.
Also hear from the men that they don't want to get married anymore. So what do we do with that?
Seems like it's true, because nowadays a lot of people are looking at marriage as a contract rather than a partnership. And there's a huge difference between that, because with a contract, there are so many terms.
Question of the day: should women, because men definitely do it, why am I just roasting everybody? But should women have to cut their Eddie Monster when they got like that little Eddie Monster dip right there? Women just rock their Eddie Monster. Men normally cut their Eddie Monster off, but women can get away with just rocking that. Should women have to cut off the Eddie Monster? That's when your hairline come down in the center, and it when it does. Why am I roasting everybody at the start of the show? But y'all know what the Eddie Monster is. Like, that's when your hairline do like that. Men normally cut off their Eddie Monster. Women don't. Should women have to cut off their Eddie Monster? Serious question. All right. Back to the show. All right. Doing a serious show here. It's called a Widow's Peak. Y'all call it a Widow's Peak. I call that an Eddie Monster. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google Eddie Monster. There's a show called The Monsters. In Eddie Monster, the boy in the family, his hairline came in with had that little peak, that like Vegeta. Men normally cut theirs off. Women just be rocking their Eddie Monster. But anyway,
and many headaches and this and that and
Well, it
numbers.
is a contract.
Well,
Yeah.
there you
Women
go.
are
That's
paid to
why.
leave. Yeah.
But that's because that is what it is now. Because realistically, the traditional sense of marriage is not a contract, really, in terms of the law. Once the law is involved, that's when everything went tits up. I think.
Yeah. So the problem
Hey, I'm
is,
trying to have a serious conversation here, but did she say that's when everything went tits up? When fish die, they say a fish went belly up. You know, if you watch Finding Nemo, he's like, I don't want to go belly up. Don't let me go belly up. You know, when they scared that, you know, when fish die, they go belly up. So I think that's what you mean. It went tits up. Oh, because yeah, when you die, you lay on your back, tits up. Okay, all right. So yeah. Interesting terms coming from wherever the hell they're at on Earth, somewhere from some place in Europe. They say everything went tits up. I guess that means that's how it died. It went tits up. Okay, interesting slang.
there's zero advantage to marriage in the Western world for a man. There is zero statistical advantage. If you use your mind, if you use your head instead of your heart, and you look at the advantages to getting married, there are absolutely and utterly none. Because this new idea of new age feminism just basically destroys all men in the idea or in the event of her leaving. And it's very common that women leave, right? Let's stop the man versus woman attack, et cetera, et cetera. Life's difficult for everybody. We all have different challenges, different things to go through. But if a woman marries a man and it goes wrong, she has emotional heartbreak. Fine. But if a man marries a woman and it goes wrong, he has emotional heartbreak. Plus, everything he has ever worked for is ripped out from underneath him, and he has to give that chick money forever.
In some places, you don't even have to be married.
Exactly.
That's why the men don't want to live with.
And it was a crazy thing is happening because I've heard a lot of men talking like this. Like basically, don't get with a broke chick. In this modern day and time, make sure your chick working. Make sure she stay work. Make sure she industrious and ambitious and going to make just as much money as you. So when it's time to, so if y'all have to leave, it's an easier separation. Like that lets you know the messed up place in which we in now. So I heard somebody try to argue from an authoritative mating standpoint. If two broke people get together, they separate, they still broke. If two people making 80K separate, then they separate. There's an even split. Be with somebody that's making roughly the same thing that you make. Now, idealistically, that don't work. It typically don't work like that. In most cases, in most functional situations, especially if we're talking about a marriage that a woman could actually respect, that man is going to have to be harder working and making more money eventually. And so it's like it's no way around that. When things are done semi, halfway traditional to men, it's funny. They set up a society to where when men step up and beat their chest and do what they're supposed to do, they putting their ass on the line. The man stepped up, married that woman, and successful, industrious, and taking care of the whole family and everything. And he's also handed her a deadly weapon that she could use at her disposal for any reason. It's like it's a messed up situation to where you can't really fault the men who are just like, hey, fuck this shit, I'm out. When it comes to starting families and all of that, you can't knock it. Society has ultimately created that. That was a lot of points that Andrew Tate want to get into on this show. And there's a few times, and Brittany Renner, she got a few moments where she went full Brittany Renner, start clapping back at him and shit. But we're gonna see how that go. Let's go.
With the women even.
That's right. So when you make these rules and these laws, right, under the guise of feminism and equality, all this garbage, all you're doing is scaring men away from commitment. And then you have to add in the other hidden element. And the other hidden element is what I said earlier, is whose fault a lot of this is promiscuous women, right? So when society is broken down, if all women got together and said, we'll only have sex after marriage, guess what men would do? Get married. But you don't, right? So now you're in Miami. I go to Miami. I can fuck anything in the club. I don't have to marry any of them. If I marry them, I get wrecked. So, let's all use our brains here. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to be like, well, no, bounce, see ya, no. So men have been scared away from the idea of marriage, and
that's true, Coach. Still, that is very true. And you say most men aren't rich enough to have that problem, but the fact of the matter is, like, okay, you're not rich. if you get married, and you work your ass off to take care of your family, chances are you're going to be making more than her. Chances are, eventually, like when I was married, we were neck and neck. It was some times where she made a little more, sometimes I made a little more. But eventually, by the time I started getting, closer to 30 and then into my 30s, right towards the end, like she wasn't working. She was working a business that wasn't really making no money, and I was working overtime 7 days a week. So it still ended up being like I wasn't nowhere near rich, but I still ended up getting screwed out of some things. I still ended up getting screwed out of some things. There was still some things, and I hesitate to even get into the personal, but there was some things I did in separating that I did out of duty to make sure she was okay, to take care of some things off the record without no court ordering me to do it like a dummy. I just did it because it was, the right thing to do, and still went in court and was told that I did nothing, which means I was still ordered to pay some stuff that I technically already paid, that I technically already divided it up myself to make sure everybody was okay. So you still, like, I got screwed on something to where if I really broke it all down, somebody could probably argue that ain't nothing. But for me and for what I was making, yeah, no, it was something. It was something. It did screw me over. So no, you can still get screwed, but it's technically true. It's technically true that sometimes when we're talking about full-blown alimony, that's like in 10% of marriages. I get that. I get that. Like most men are not in situations where they're going to have to pay alimony. And that's where the argument comes in. Make sure she bringing something to the table too. That's where that argument comes in. But if we're talking about that, what are we talking about? Marrying industrious, semi-masculine women to bear our children and then get back out there to work. It's like, so it's a system that's going to fail. That's the point. That's the point. It's a system that's going to fail. That's all to it. Shout out to Edward Anderson in the building. Says folks can say what they want about Andrew, but they can't say he isn't entertaining. He's entertaining and he normally gets it right. That's why I can't stand when people hate on him. I couldn't stand when people hated on Kevin Samuels. They both were entertaining. They both get it right. They both had a few things that they say that it's like, come on, man, you kind of tripping on that one. But for the most part, they get it right and they entertaining as hell. So yeah, I can't stand it. None of the hate coming from either direction on that one. Edward Anderson in the building again. He says, and when women can change, say you are a loser and they have to hear that shit, you can tell they feel that shit. All right, let's get back into it. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Let's make sure y'all hit the like button. Let's make sure we hit the like button. I don't got RM in the back manning the controls. So I'm trying to, it is so fun having somebody else do this shit. Where's it at? There we go. All right, trying to put that scrolling at the bottom of the screen. But all right, let's go ahead and get into this thing. I don't know why I'm reading comments. He said BR did everything the right way, plus helping old ladies cross the street and still got screwed. Gotta love the system. Yeah. I lost my ice trays and pillowcases in the divorce. No, just playing. All right.
A lot of that is the fault of this new bullshit law and this new feminism and this new crap. They don't give men any tactical advantage. And I'm talking about small things. A man's not even allowed to be a man in his own house. You know, in England, you will get accused of emotional abuse. I can marry a woman, not lay a hand on her. I can just raise my voice at her. That's emotional abuse. I can raise my voice at her because she's going out drinking with dudes. She can go out drinking 6 nights a week with men. And I can say, what the fuck, you're my wife, sit down. She can call the cops, call me emotionally abusive. I get arrested now. Now there's a court case against me. I have to go to court and defend myself. She'll divorce me, take my house. I have to sell my car because she's drinking vodka with fucking God knows who.
But you notice that
It's
earlier on.
insanity.
What do you think of child support?
And that's another interesting thing because a lot of these arguments.
I'm sort of wish Pearl wouldn't have jumped in right there. even though this is about to segue into the interesting part of this discussion, but I'm mad you jumped in right there. I wanted to hear their direct response to that, because what he laid out right there, and this is what I really like about him. He laid it out very eloquently to where it's hard to have an out or a way to argue with that. It's hard to have an out or a way to argue with that. If there's a such thing, if there's no fault divorce, she could technically just start wilding out. She could just start wearing less and going out more and whatnot. So, and so that's the thing. That's the thing. She could technically start doing that, and then you technically are literally getting her face about it and try and say something to her about it. She could say that she don't feel safe. You're emotionally abusing her or in some type of way. She could have you in court explaining yourself. She could have a case on you. And then after all of that happens, that leads into a divorce where, yes, if you were working, if you were making the bulk of the money, if you were the one who built all the things that y'all have, then yeah, she can screw you out of it. Like, that is a fact. She could literally do that to you. She could literally do that to you if it's a no-fault divorce. It's like at any moment with her volatile, erratic, up and down emotions, she can make a conscious decision to just go ahead and screw you over. She can. She literally can do that. And so what that does for men, even though, like I've said before, I said this once, I'll say it again. Men who want families, the only way that they could typically, unless they do something extreme, like get a surrogate or something, which is a whole nother, I ain't about to get into that. Typically, if a man wants a family, he can only get that family if he's attached to that woman. The second he's not attached to that woman, he doesn't have a family no more. A woman could have her family without that man there. Well, she could have a family, with air quotes. She could have a family without that man there. So for her, it's nothing. So even though it's all this incentive for men to not do it, even though it's all this incentive for men to not do it, there's still a high percentage of men that still want to do it because they still want a family. But everything is structured and set up in a way to where the woman is incentivized to screw the whole situation over if she wants to, if she thinks she can derive more benefit from it, which means that it's a situation to where a man has to be sitting there thinking, okay, well, let me make this so beneficial for her to where she won't leave. But then you run into the situation where you make it too beneficial to where she can cut it in half and then still be and still come out benefiting. So it's almost like, be a man, be brave, go do it, go jump out there, go walk through go walk through this gauntlet. Or like what he was just saying, a man could just stay single, have some casual sex, make his own money, protect his own assets, don't get screwed over. It's like you can't knock aspects of that of the MGTOW movement, the walk away movement, or even passports. You can't knock it, because in Western marriage is a whole nother, it's a whole ball of wax. And I don't like the idea of men walking around in fear. I don't like that. I like the idea of men being conquerors, but it's men who are behind it, facilitating and setting up this system that advantages women. So it's a whole messed up situation where it's like you want men to be patriarchs, but society doesn't incentivize that. They incentivize and subsidize everything that works against that. So what do men do?
It goes beyond man and woman, and it goes into the larger sphere as a whole, right? Because we talked earlier about war and how a lot of men used to die, and that doesn't happen anymore. So what you used to have in societies, and I'm not saying I have all the answers, I'm just commenting, right? What you used to have in societies is a bunch of men would die at war because men have more dangerous lives than women. There'd be a bunch more women than men.
To that statement you made right there, Anthony Baker, that's almost an insight to anybody who know me. If my brother watching, he know why I just laughed when I said Anthony Baker. I ain't gonna explain why. Trying to zoom in, like, nah, that ain't. but the don't get married, fellas. I support that statement. if it's, don't get state sanctioned married. Don't get state sanctioned married. I still believe family is a good thing and best thing for society, but I'm in full support of men protesting the state sanctioned aspect of it, and to force a change, to essentially force a change. I'm all for that.
The top G's would impregnate a bunch of women, and the top G's could take care of the women, and that'd be exactly.
Top G's? It's hold on.
Is a bunch of men would die at war because men have more dangerous lives than women. There'd be a bunch more women than men. The top G's would impregnate a bunch of women, and the top G's could take care of the women, and that'd be et cetera, et cetera. That's now changed, right?
The top G. Is that some UK slang? Is that some UK slang, or is that some Hustle University terminology that he made up with? Why is he saying top G's? Okay, I'm trying to think. Okay, y'all are saying that's some UK slang. All right, cool. All right. I mean, I understand what it means. It just seemed weird coming out of his mouth, People start calling each other G, like the G stood for gangster originally. So, it's anyway. All right. Top G's.
So the reason a lot of top wives than women, there'd be a bunch more women than men. The top G's would impregnate a bunch of women, and the top G's could take care of the women, and that'd be et cetera, et cetera. That's now changed, right? So a lot of the reason that monogamy is pushed is because it's good for society. And it is good for society. It's good for society as a whole to have a man, a woman, a family, they're together. The man provides for the woman, et cetera. The government doesn't want to pay for all these kids. If you don't have child support, who's paying for these kids? The government does it. It breaks down, right? So that's why child support is enforced in many parts of the world. In certain other parts of the world, child support isn't enforced because they have religious beliefs or genuine family beliefs that keep the families together. But in the Western world, now you need child support because you've broken things down to the point where men don't want to be married to chicks. Chicks don't want to listen to the man. The man can't even be the man in his own household. He can't even feel respected where he goes. His woman gives him no status. And now he doesn't want to fucking deal with her anymore. So how do you get that kid paid for? Well, then tell the man, or you go to jail. And you just come along with the fucking long arm of the law and you fuck him. And so, yeah, it's difficult. It's hard.
Now, one way to work around that, to swing the pendulum in the other direction, instead of incentivizing everything that makes it easier for the woman to be without the man, do things to ultimately incentivize people actually staying together. Get rid of that no-fault divorce. Get rid of that whole, the taking half element of it. Get rid of the women automatically get custody. Make it default that it's going to be 50-50, 1 week on, 1 week off, and no child support because you're responsible to take care of them when you got them. You're responsible to take care of them when you got them. The woman got them, it's her job to take care of them. The man got them, it's his job to take care of them. There's a number of things you could de-incentivize or incentivize to promote people actually staying together, so you don't end up with as many situations where, okay, they broke up. Now, how are we going to get these kids taken care of? Let's so he's right in his explanation and breaking down. That's why they go after the man. The government don't want to have to pay for it in fun taking care of the kid. Well, the government needs some help taking care of the kid, because the government, food stamps and all of that stuff is going to be on the table. All of that stuff is going to be on the table. They just want to make sure that they get something from the man in that situation. Well, let's try to incentivize the whole men and women actually staying together. Let's not make it easier to where we're damn near paying women to leave. A woman can make a calculation. I can have my freedom and I have to deal with this dude, and if I work this little piece of a job plus this much assistance plus this much child support, you know what, I'm going to live roughly the same lifestyle and not have to answer to him. That right there, that's a family killer. That's a family killer.
Hard to
Yes, though.
answer. Yeah, but it's hard to answer. The true answer to all of it is an idealistic answer. I don't like to think idealistically and talk idealistically, but it's the truth. The true answer to it is to instill in the man a sense of duty in which he wants to take care of his woman regardless, because that's his child. But you
Yeah.
will do that. I'll tell you how you do that. You do that by inspiring out of the man by being a very good woman. So I'll give you an example. If I had a child with a woman and she was always a great woman to me, she never cheated on me, she was a good woman to me, and I was running around being whatever. And she's like, look, I just can't put up with you anymore. You're top G. You're going to do what you're going to do. I'm going to look after your kid. You can see him anytime you want. I care about you. Please don't leave me in poverty. I'd say, cool. 100%. I'm not a fucking dickhead.
Can I
Cool.
say
I
But
got you.
that's
I
a
got you.
real man though, because I was
'Cause
in
a
a
lot of real
situation
men are.
but I was just in a situation like that to where it's like hearts don't break even. And that's the reality too. It's like if those morals and principles are not instilled in a man, none of that shit
That's
matters.
right.
So obviously
Completely.
the child support stuff obviously hits close home to me because I'm already 50,000. It's just in lawyer fees trying to get him to provide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it sucks because it's like you playing the NBA.
Never, not once in the history of modern day child support has a woman ever had to accrue $50,000 in lawyer fees pursuing a child support case. That is a goddamn lie. Plenty of women have walked into the courtroom broke in pajama pants and house shoes and got child support. Like, cut the shit. Like that is cap beyond cap. Like you can't cap harder than that. You cannot cap harder than that. I've never ever heard of somebody needing lawyers to pursue child support. Never. The only way that I could see this is if she was trying to really go for some weird, crazy, outlandish, go for the gusto, try to get some crazy, like because Kim Kardashian getting like $200K from Kanye, per month, $200K per month. Even though I don't know if this is true. I just heard Angry Man enunciate the words. I don't know if it's actually true, but I heard that was sort of like a buddy system thing that they did. There's just something that she did for him because all the money that they kind of trying to take from him, they can't take the child support money. So they got it set up to where he's paying that much, and then she gives that money back to him. I heard somebody say that. I don't know if it's true. If so, good on her. That was a nice move because she's a billionaire. She don't need $200K extra per month, but I think she did that just so he have a portion of money untouchable while they're trying to screw him over or something like that. That's what I heard. But anyway, I think the only way that I could see Brittany Renner actually, if she was trying to pull off a case where she was trying to get some lump sum of back pay, and some lawyer was like, "Oh, I can work and fight to get you that. However, I'll be able to get you like $750,000 in back pay. It's just going to run you $50,000. I'll get my money after we win. I'll get my 50,000 out of that." I could see some lawyers trying to pull off some move like that, and she going with it. I could see it, but either way it go, I refuse to believe. I refuse to believe that she had to hire a lawyer and went $50,000 in debt pursuing a child support case. Like that getting child support is the easiest thing you can do. If they was married and she had to come out of pocket to pay for divorce lawyers, I could see in a high profile divorce I could see that happening. But child support cases, no. That is some bullshit. That is some bullshit to the highest capacity of bullshit. And she even went as far to say, and it is, I think it was in this discussion right here. No, that was in the one-on-one she had with Pearl. She did this. She pulled this, and I actually made a short on this where she said that's the thing. One thing people don't understand is that I never put him on child support. I didn't do it. He filed. He went to the court, and he basically set up our whole child support situation. He did that. I just had to get a lawyer just to understand what my part of what to do. But I never filed. I never put him on child support. It's like that was a part where she was playing dumb, pretending to not understand. And she do this a lot. There's a lot of men who understand that sometimes you do got to go down there and put yourself on child support, because you can give money to the woman, even though I hate the whole concept of taking care of your kids, meaning giving her money. That's what that means. To take care of your kids, it means giving her money. You know, they always say that. Well, he's supposed to provide for his kids by wiring X number of dollars to her account each month. That's taking care of his kids. But anyway, sometimes men do have to go down there and put themselves on child support. The reason that they have to go down there and put themselves on child support, because if they take care of the kids for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and God forbid, not 17 years, and do it all off the record, do it all off the books. If they're doing that off the record and off the books, she at any moment within those 17 years could easily go down there. So she just got mad at him 10 years in, and she could go down there and say he's done nothing, and she could get back child support on an NBA contract. She could get back child support for 10 years on an NBA contract. And after he's took care of the kids, took care of her and the kids for her and the kid for 10 years, she could still get mad at him, go back and get back child support that could add up to the millions. She could always go back and do that. So men actually go and get in front of it and put themselves on child support. Then the woman play innocent. Oh, I never filed, as if you weren't sitting there like an evil villain stroking a cat. I forgot what movie that was. Y'all let me know in the chat room where the villain used to be rubbing on a cat while talking about his diabolical plans. with a red button. You had to you sitting there with a nuclear bomb for those 10 years, as if, you know, I didn't put him on child support for 10 years. As if you wasn't, as if this the red button, as if every time they argued, she wasn't just caressing the red button. Like come on. as if she didn't start just rubbing her hand across the red button every time they start arguing. I never put him on child support. Like they do that. Thanks. I knew y'all was gonna know it in the chat room. See, I'm hearing a lot to see this. Inspector Gadget, James Bond, Austin Powers. See, that's a common theme. That's a common thing with the evil villain stroking a cat. Yeah. They should have gave Darth Vader or Darth Sidious a cat. That would have been funny as hell. And he just rubbing on the cat with his robotic hand. The cat sitting there. Never mind. All right. I got a weird sense of humor. All right, let's move on. All right. Where we at? Let's go.
Yeah, like why?
That's full of shit. Just want to make that very clear. That's full of shit. Never, not once in the history of child support did a woman have to pay $50,000 on lawyers to pursue a child support case. If a lawyer charged her that, then he must have thought she was real dumb, and if she paid it, she proved him right, because nobody has to pay that much to pursue child support. You just need bare minimum documentation. If you got his name and his address, let alone a birth certificate with his name on it, with his signature on it. If you just got his name and his address, that's enough to get some mail sent to his house saying he got to appear at court. and that's where the proceedings start. If he walk in and he says, I'm the pappy, like in life, if he walk in and he say that, then that's it. Only thing you need is a confession from the man that he's the pappy. That's it. And truth be told, let him not show up at court. Let him not show up to court. It's people who do not showed up for court and then and then just looked at their check one day and found out, oh shit, what is CHPS? What is CHSUP? I've seen dudes pull out their W-2 and looking at their W-2 like everybody opened up their check and he's sitting there like, hey y'all, what is CHSUP? You know, like I've seen that happen at the job. Dude and got put on child support and didn't even know, was completely unaware. Like, so you don't even need him there You don't even need his approval. You don't even like come on. Child support is pretty damn like they make that easy as hell to pursue. They make that easy as hell to pursue. So she lying her ass off saying that that she paid $50,000 in lawyers in order just to pursue child support, but she didn't file. He filed. I just got $50,000 of lawyers worth of lawyers. She got a stronger legal team than what Tory Lanez did facing 22 years. she put together. She had Johnny Cochran and that damn Kardashian dude and all that. She put together a stronger legal team than Tory Lanez. If she paid $50,000, like that's a damn lie.
Couldn't you? Why don't you want to do more? And it's just because, again, of the relationship. It's personal. It's not about our
Personal.
son.
That's right.
So it's like, if you're not.
So
I just feel like it's like, why do you get money for making a poor choice?
Well, it wasn't a poor choice because it took
and
two.
I'm not trying to like disrespect you in any way. It's just like if you left. And
no.
so
I asked this question earlier when it wasn't as many people in here, but let me know what y'all think. Like with Pearl, like those that don't know, she is 6 feet tall, and she be in those Little House on the Prairie dresses. My theory is that the Little House on the Prairie dresses do not come in 6 foot tall woman. I'm thinking she has to go and get them things special made. That's my theory. That she has to go get them things special tailor made. They do not make 6 foot tall Little House on the Prairie dresses. They just don't. They don't come that big. So my thing is she's actually doing the work. Like you working hard at being you working really hard at being pick me if you getting custom tailor made Little House on the Prairie dresses for 6 foot tall women. Like, cause I know they don't come. You can't buy that off the rack. You just can't. They don't got no big and tall store for women where they sell Little House on the Prairie dresses that come in 6 feet tall. They don't. She is getting them Little House on the Prairie dresses custom made.
like, why do you get money for it? It just doesn't make sense.
because we made a commitment. So we made at the end of the day, we made a commitment. We have a forever commitment. Fuck marriage. We are forever family. So again, as someone who is literally going through this, if I made more money than him, I would be paying him child support, and that would be fair to me.
But this is
no, you wouldn't. What would happen if you made more money than him? That would be the argument that you would use to say that you are the responsible parent who should have full custody, and he should only be able to get every other weekend and Wednesday from 5 to 8, and essentially be on Uncle Dad status. That's what you would do. And seeing as let's just say, I don't know how she would make more money than an NBA player, but in event she did, or he living on the road, like basically he wouldn't. No, that's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. And I've seen that, and I know how that works. If it's a situation where the woman is working and the man is not, they flip the arguments around. Okay, if the man is working and making more money, is well, you're busy at work and she's not working, so she's there and available for the child, and she could take care of that child and nurture and care for that child. That's the argument when the man is making more money and the woman is working less and making less. That's the argument. When it's flipped around and the man is working less or making less and the woman is making more and working more, then the argument gets flipped around to, well, she's clearly the most responsible, successful person who's going to be able to provide that child a better at-home living environment or whatever, and that is this man who's not working or not making enough money. We can't leave the child to this irresponsible adult. Like, they will flip that around. And the reason I know that, and I told myself I gotta stop talking about personal shit. The reason I know that that's true is because it just coincidentally, when I was going through a divorce, just coincidentally, I was, like I said, the last 3 years of the marriage, I was working and she wasn't really working or making that much money. When it just so happened to be coincidence that right around the time that we separated, the job I was working closed down. It like shut down for good. It was one of the plants, factories in Michigan closed down that I was working at. And so, I was out of a job. So here I am going through divorce proceedings and I'm on unemployment. And she went and found a job. And that was the argument. She has found full-time employment and blah 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 blah, and she's doing good, and he's not working. Then I was like, well, and I tried to argue, what shit, it sounds like I'm available to take care of the kids. Now, don't it? No, nigga, you a lazy bum. And then so when I went back and tried to re-get custody and everything, and I was back working. And then it was, well, you see, you're working so many hours. And what shift do you work? Oh, well, you're going to be working a lot of hours when the kids are home from school. And oh, really? Really? Y'all just gonna spin the shit around? Y'all just gonna make a completely different argument depending on who in the hot seat? It's like, so when I hear a woman say, well, if I was making more, I would have no problem paying. No, that wouldn't be your argument. If you was making more than you should pay, your argument would be that you're the more successful, responsible parent who could provide a better life. That would be your argument. So cut the shit.
This is what's really interesting. What's truly interesting is if you go to other countries, and I'm talking about civilized countries, right? If you go to Poland or Czech Republic or whatever, these countries, which are in many metrics more civilized than the West, they're safer to live in, they're cleaner, etc. There's no child support laws. So if you have a divorce, the man just takes care of the woman because that's his kid and that's just what he's supposed to do, and that's just it. So what you're saying is, you're right about the man having the morality instilled inside of them. And my point is that the reason a lot of this doesn't exist, the reason men don't have morality installed in them, is not just about the individual case of the man. It's about society as a whole. It's about women as a whole, men as a whole, the dating game as a whole, the life he's living as a whole. And this is the world we live in. This is why I was talking about how dangerous new think is, because now we have this new think, this new world, and we're living in this new world. And the truth is, as a man, now the game has changed. In the game of chess, sometimes it's not about winning. It's about making sure you don't lose. If you can not lose, if you can not blunder any pieces and protect your king long enough, you'll win the game. And there's a lot of men who are now like, okay, how do I not lose? Well, you know what? I become fucking ruthless. That's how I don't lose. I get all my sex because the women are promiscuous. I get laid as much as I want. I don't let anyone fucking tie me into anything dumb. Any bitch wants to get fresh to me or fucking talk to another dude, I cut her off financially. And you just get ruthless so you don't lose the game. But that's because the game's been rigged against men. So the harder you rig the game against us, the more ruthless we're going to have to be to compete. And it's unfortunate. I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm just saying why men do what they do.
Can I just say with regards to Brittany?
That what he just did right there, that's part of the reason why I didn't even want to even do a reaction to this, because he be knocking it out the park so tough that it's like I got nothing to add to that other than I agree. Like he Andrew Tate be killing it. I said it once, I said it again. Him and Kevin Samuels, they did the damn thing at figuring out a way how to get a lot of the stuff we talk about to the wider broader audience. They knocked it out the park in terms of that shit. But shout out to Fantastic. He says, no matter how cool people think Andrew Tate is, top G's is why he'd never reach American equivalent. I don't know what you mean by American equivalent, but top G's do sound corny. And Andrew Tate is a pretty cool dude. But top G's some corny shit. Andrew Tate, one of the coolest dudes on earth, but when he talking about top all of the top G's, like no. It must be a UK, wherever the hell he from thing. I don't know.
I just think that with regards to child support, you got a kid, you look after it.
Hey, I do.
All right. That's what I got a problem. I always got a problem when they say that. I don't care in regards to child support. If you have a kid, you look after it. I don't like when they define a man looking after his kid as money going from his wallet to her purse. I don't like how they define it like that, because if the conversation switch to, which I always switch it to, is, hey, let's do it 1 week on, 1 week off, no child support. That's the ultimate child support. He taking care of the kid half the time. That's the ultimate child support. You do want that, right? Well, no, and then that's when they get exposed, and that statement turns into bullshit that, hey, if you have a kid, you just take care of it. What they're saying is, if you have a kid by a woman, you just give her money.
No, not you.
Okay, I was like,
no, that's what I said. No, that's what I said with regards to the child support. That's what I first said. I think that you have a kid that you should look after it. I don't agree with men giving the women money. But I think it's disgusting that a man can have a child and not support it.
So
okay. And I like okay. So she landed the plane. She sees the problem with child support really being about money going from his wallet to her purse. But she is saying she's making a technical and also a moral argument that, and I'll get the moral argument. As a man, yes, you should take care of your kid. Absolutely. The problem is that when they go and define taking care of your kid as giving her money.
So do I, but this is another thing. So this is the comments we have to make, right? Because we don't have all the answers. We have to make the comments on it. This goes into the deeper point. Every time a court rules in favor of a chick having $100,000 a month, that puts men off to a level. Like, it's fine if there was a baseline child support, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. That's if you have a kid, baseline, regardless of income. If your man wants to give you more, he does. If he doesn't, whatever. But when you come along and start saying this percent of a man's income, do you have any idea how scary that is to a man who works for his money? He works for his money. And do you know why it's scary? It's not just because he's giving his money away. It's because he knows he isn't giving money to the kid.
Yeah.
The kid, you can raise a kid on $500 a month in most of the world. You want that kid in Gucci, you in a nice car, going on dates with another dude with my money. I'd rather burn the fucking house down than to give it to you under those circumstances.
Vouchers for child support.
I just think it incentivizes poor decisions. Like, I haven't gotten pregnant by someone, but like but I'm saying, but like you're gonna pay someone who's done that. Like, why do they get?
Okay, no, but I'm literally telling you that what if I made more money than him, I would have no problem paying for my child. And there's child support laws vary in different states. So in North Carolina, for instance, if you make over,
you would have no. This woman is so full of shit. If she made more money than him, she would have no problem paying for her child. Okay, let's say you make more money than him. Let's say that you paying him now. You got to pay him $10,000 a month, and all you see is him on on Instagram. Partying, clubbing with a bunch of bitches off your dime. That shit that Andrew Tate was just talking about she'd rather burn the house a woman will burn that whole courthouse to the ground if she had to pay a man that much money and he out partying, popping bottles on the gram with other women. His house and the whole courthouse, everything is getting burnt to the ground. Like, again, that's cap. That's cap. But based off the parameters and paradigm that they set up, where taking care of your kid is defined as giving money to the to the custodial parent, when they define it like that, and they push and fight to make sure that they're the custodial parent, even after a divorce, lead attorney and a lot of attorneys came on here and said, I'm talking about actual divorce lawyers, they said the majority of the time the man is going for at least 50-50 custody. Majority of the time the woman fight to make sure he doesn't get 50-50 custody, that she gets full custody, and then define him taking care of her kids as giving money to the custodial parent, which she fought to be. You see how the whole trap comes in, and then she's trying to reverse that language and say she would have no problem if he was the full-time, if he was this thing that we know he'll never be, because 90% of the time they lose when they try, and the woman has to show some type of extreme dysfunction in order for them to give the kid to the man over the woman. So it's a bullshit gaslighting word game that they play.
Combined of $300,000 a year, then you are considered off the grid. So then you have to prove this is how much your rent is. Any bill that my son occupies, I get a percentage of. So on the low end, it would be 50%. If there's a big enough salary gap, it could be up to 97%. In the court, the judge gets to decide what makes the most sense. So if my child's father makes $20 million a year from basketball, he gets to decide if $6,000 is a lot, if $8,000 or $10,000, whatever. But you have to prove that. So it's not like you just it's enough money for a Chanel bag. Like,
it's not hard to prove how much somebody make. That's not difficult. I've seen that process. I've seen that argument. I've seen, I don't even want to get into that. I've seen even the W-2 income is easy to prove. The extra income, if somebody has something that they do on the side, let's just say hypothetically, a man has a W-2 job, and he makes, I don't know, $70K on that, but he's a carpenter and he does odd jobs, and on the weekend might make extra $500 here, $600 there. Oh yeah. If she's aware that he does that, they're going to dig into it. If he makes an extra 30,000 doing odd jobs on the weekend, oh yeah, they're going to dig that up. That's going to be dug up. So no, it's not that hard of a thing to do, and they're doing a little weird thing that they do where they try to make it seem like, hey, the judge just does a calculation and he just ran the numbers and and put it in, and he said based off the my cable bill and my energy bill and his $20 million and these overnights and that calculation and divided by pi, and then that's how they came up with $14,000 a month. I had nothing to do with it. It's like that's what they're trying to do there. Shout out to almost an hour in. I think this is only the first super chat. Y'all, okay, I ain't gonna complain. But shout out to Ryda. That's an interesting spelling of Ryda in the building with the $5 super chat. Says that's BS because Halle Berry complains about her child support. Oh yeah, they gonna complain. They gonna complain. I played the clip one day, the side-by-side clip of Derek Jackson, how he reacted to men talking about paying child support and alimony and all of that. And then when I think Mary J. Blige or somebody had to play it, oh my goodness, switched up his whole argument when it was a woman who had to pay it. Switched up his whole argument. Like, so yeah, the argument changes from side to side. The argument changes from side to side. It's but yeah, no, it's interesting. It's interesting. But shout out to Ryder. I do appreciate you coming on through with a super chat. Appreciate everybody who supports this stream. Do appreciate each and every one of you.
These are my son watches Peppa Pig. That's a cable bill. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's a percentage of everything. So you're not like just living it up. You're just living. I mean, so you're
they don't. She's arguing, and I understand what she's trying to do, because let's just say, okay, you got kids in your house. That means you're going to be using more electricity. It's another light on. It's another TV on. It's a percentage of the cable bill. And 100 the cable bill, what, $115? You know, whatever the energy bill is. Okay, a kid add an extra, $70 onto that wouldn't already be on there. It's like, come on, like if you really itemize it like that, and that type of itemizing is important. Don't get me wrong, but it don't come out to what a lot of these chicks actually end up getting. So it's a weird argument that she's trying to make, but no, it's unless it's a cap. And to be fair, I think that they are in a state, or he's in a state where there is a cap on it, because I think he only pays $2,500 a month. And I say only because he make millions. $2,500 a month in child support, that still is a whole hell of a lot. That's still a whole hell of a lot for one kid. $2,500 a month is a whole hell of a lot. But so there's a cap on that. Some places there is no cap. Some places that calculation is based off how much money he made versus a certain amount of overnights. It could come up to $20,000 a month, depending on the state.
There's a roof over your son's head.
My whole point is that it's all down to choices, and
the man made a choice too, because I can't get pregnant unless he nuts in me.
I understand that, but I'm
then there's nothing to argue.
You're the one that's you're in control of who gets born. Abortion's legal.
Okay,
as soon as he nuts, it's completely out of his control.
Listen,
can I just say something though?
Wait,
just playing devil's advocate, that I had my child, and me and the dad went together, and I didn't take a penny from him. And the government wanted me to, but I decided that no, that it was better off that my child, I look after him myself. Anything he wants to give his son, if he wanted to, was extra. But I worked hard and I done it all on my own, because it was just less. Because it's less headache. It's less.
No, and I know a lot of women that went that route.
It's unfair though that you have to think that he's not going to be a man and take care of his child. Don't you think that's unfair on you?
No, because he's my child and he's happy, and I'm going to give him what he wants.
Child as well.
Hold on, I was reading the chat. So I missed what she said, because I think one of them said that she wasn't thinking about what the dad was going to do. She was like, "It's my kid. I'm going to take care of it, and whatever he does is extra." And then I think that's when the chick came in and said this.
So that you have to think that he's not going to be a man and take care of his child. Don't you think that's unfair on you?
No. Okay, him being a man and taking care of his child or not taking care of his child. Yes, he should. Yes, he should take care of his child. The only issue I have is defining him taking care of his child as money wired to her account every month. I don't think that's taking care of his child. I don't. They define it in that way. They define it in that way to where he's taking care of his child and he's being a man based off how much money he's giving me. It's like whenever I hear that, I always say, if this man came and tried to get 50-50 custody today, how would you feel about that? Would you say, yes, he's finally about to come, step up and help take care of his child? Gladly. Let's hold hands and walk in the courthouse and get the paperwork set up 1 week on, 1 week off. In fact, if they're not operating like that, then they're basically just saying, he nutted in me, I need to get money from him. Just, that's basically what they're saying. They're basically saying, I'm about to be in his pockets. That's really what it's about. That's really what it's about.
Okay, he's my child and he's happy. Now I'm give him what he wants.
Child as well. He made that child.
That's why I don't need a man
but the whole
attitude,
point is you choose who you sleep with.
Listen, right, as far as
he chooses as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, this is two to tango. What are we talking about?
I'm saying right now it's not fair because women have abortion that's legal. It's not legal for them.
Oh,
they get no say. They get no say, and the same thing with birth.
I mean, I could have done, but it wasn't.
I understand that argument, but that's really not my favorite argument in this. I know a lot of people make that argument, and it's a good gotcha argument. But the fact of the matter is, I typically don't go that route. I understand the argument, but that's not my thing. I push for 50-50. 1 week on, 1 week off. That's what I push for. It is technically true from a technical standpoint, is that she has power and control post-conception. She has power and control preconception and post-conception. He only has some power and control preconception. So once they get to the point to where once both people fuck up and it becomes a situation where we're not talking about preconception, we're talking about post-conception, it's all 100% in her court. The problem with that argument is that you're basically saying abortion is legal. That still doesn't mean that that particular individual woman is morally, okay with killing a baby. That's why I don't like that argument. It's a logical, technical aspect of it that does point to the fact that men have no men have no rights. When it comes to the baby being conceived, or men have no rights. Men have no rights. When that woman is pregnant, he has no rights whatsoever. He's completely non-factor, non-entity, off to the side. It's 100% on her. So from a legal standpoint, it is a checkmate. I understand that, but I still that's not the argument that I make when dealing with this. I understand a lot of people in this space do make that argument.
Not worth my time.
You can get
Why am I going to go and fight a man?
IUD.
Yeah,
it's like 99%.
But what if the man wanted the child though?
That's exactly my point. So I was on birth. Let's just use me as an example.
My point. I think he should. I think he should take care of it. I just don't agree with having legal incentives for women to leave. That's my point. Yeah. He should give you money for the kid. If you have a kid, you should, but I just don't agree with
See, but the thing is, if men stood up and became fathers to their children, women wouldn't have to.
All right, whenever I hear that shit right there, and I wish more people would start doing that, when she said, if men stood up and became fathers to their children, I always ask the question, did he leave you and the kids, or did you leave him and take the kids with you? You're sitting across the couch from the arguing on the same side of the woman who's the poster child for that, and Brittany Renner, who PJ Walker didn't abandon her and that kid. She left when the baby was not even able to crawl. She left. She picked up the kid and walked out the door and left. He didn't abandon her and the kids. He was right there doing his job. She left. It's like, did he leave you and the kids, or did you leave him and take the kids with you? When you're not married, basically in the laws in Michigan, the woman owns that kid. If a child is born to an unmarried mother, She is the presumed legal custodial guardian parent. The whole works across the board. That's her baby. When it comes to that man, it only can become legally his baby if he takes legal action against her. It's so it's her baby, and she left with her baby. We know they filed a majority of divorces, 80% of the time. I haven't looked at this stat. I just heard it said on Pearl for this Pearly Things show that when a woman is educated, 90% of the time they file it. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. So if they leave it 90% of the time when their whole relationship goals bucket list is complete, there's a good chance they leave in a whole hell of a percentage of time when they just just pregnant by a dude that they shacking up with. Like they leaving, they breaking up the families, but then sitting there like this chick talking about some if men stepped up and were fathers, like no bullshit, bullshit. You left. You got the baby out of him. You got what you wanted. You got to scratch your motherly itch. Now you get to go be single and have a baby and drop the baby off with the grandmama and go thought it up a little more. Like, I mean.
But we're in control of who we sleep with. So at the end of the day, you pick who you sleep with. Okay. So if you pick a guy that's getting girls pregnant left and right,
but she doesn't know that he's not going to be there. She doesn't know that.
If she married him, she'd be all right.
She trusted this man to be a father to a child, and now she's left with a child, and no one's going to support her.
And now she's left with a child, and no one's going to support her. Maybe I missed the part. I don't know if she's even referring to Brittany Renner right there, but it's like when the woman chooses to leave a relationship, it's like that never gets averaged into the equation. It don't matter what happened. They say now she's left with this child and no one's going to support her. It's like men can only have a family if they're attached to that woman. Men are not walking. If a man and a woman live together and they have a kid, that man is not walking out the door like that. These relationships are not ending with the dad, with the woman, with the mother and the kids clinging on to the dad's leg, and he like dragging them on his way out the door. Like that, these relationships ain't ending like that.
You think that's unfair?
Should have married him first.
I mean, you can get married.
Of course. You get married.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like
marriage is what solves problems. Are you guys actually
what I'm trying to say? Marriage will solve the financial problems.
You've already spoken, Auntie. Please don't cut me off. This is the problem, yeah? Stop acting like every woman that leaves a marriage and gets divorced is because she's this and she's that. There's a lot of women that suffer and they actually need the support and the legal incentive so that they know when they leave, somebody can back them up because they'll be on their own. Stop acting like men are angels because there's a lot of men.
The point is, if everything at every turn incentivizes them to leave, then the chances are they're going to leave. They're going to be more likely to leave and more comfortable leaving. That's just a very simple point.
And that are dealing with a lot of the traumas that they have from a man's world being difficult. The same way that Andrew Tate explained, a man's world is highly competitive. Men are out there suffering. It is hard to be a man. And a lot of the time, the person who takes the brunt of it is the woman. So yes, she's well within her right to leave, take her child, and be in a better place. And the government should step in to make sure that that man that made her...
hold on.
Andrew Tate explained, a man's world is highly competitive. Men are out there suffering. It is hard to be a man. And a lot of the time, the person who takes the brunt of it is the woman. So yes, she's well within her right to leave, take her child, and be in a better place. And the government should step in to make sure that that man that made her that men that are dealing with a lot of the traumas that they have and the legal incentive so that they know when they leave, somebody can back them up because they'll be on their own. Stop acting like men are angels because there's a lot of men that are dealing with a lot of the traumas that they have from a man's world being difficult. The same way that Andrew Tate explained, a man's world is highly competitive. Men are out there suffering. It is hard to be a man. And a lot of the time, the person who takes the brunt of it is the woman. So yes, she's well within her right to leave.
Wow. She was talking too fast as somebody said that South African apartheid accent to where I wasn't catching what she's saying. So I had to rewind it a few times to make sure I got it right. Okay. She's saying that the man's world is hard and men are dealing with trauma and the women takes the brunt of it. Therefore, they're well within their right to leave. She basically, in the midst of all that accent, she basically made the Men are out there having a hard time living in man world, and by that women taking a brunt of it, she basically saying they're coming home and taking it out on the women. She basically saying the women got right to leave and break up these families and file divorces at the rate that they do because the men are coming home beating their ass. She basically makes sure that was the argument. That was the argument that she made. That men are just beating women's ass, and so she's well within her right to leave, and that the government should take care of her and the baby, or make sure that that man financially supports the baby. Like that's the argument. That's the argument. That much ass whooping is going on, to where women are well within their right to run up the score with a damn near 90%, 80% divorce rate. They're filing divorce 80% of the time. They're well within their right to run up the score like that. And even a lot of some of the lawyers that I've talked to, they say they believe it's actually higher, because sometimes the man will file for the divorce because the woman, she didn't have the money to file, or this or that or whatever. So he thinks it's actually higher. It was her that actually wanted the divorce, but the man just the one who paid the money and got the ball rolling. So he puts it up at 90. A lawyer came on my show and did that. He said he thinks it's closer to 90. But they're well within their right to do that. Why? Because men are just taking the brunt of this hard, cold world. They're taking it out on the woman. They're beating her ass. So she has every right to leave, and the government should ensure that he takes care of that. Like, that's what she slipped in there with that South African apartheid accent. So yeah, I always love referring back to this data, as I repetition is the mother of skill. So in all relationships, 84% of them are non-violent. You can see that in the big blue Pac-Man at the bottom. 84% of the relationships are non-violence. There's violence in 16% of relationships. And of those 16% of the relationships where there is violent, 58% of that violence is bidirectional. That means both people whipping ass. 42% of it is unidirectional violence. That means only one person is whooping ass. If we exclude the double, both people whooping ass, and only look at the unidirectional violence, where only one person is whooping ass and only one person is getting their ass whipped, of that 42%, when you break that down into its own Pac-Man fraction, you end up finding out that women are the perpetrator in 66% of those, and men are the perpetrators in 33% of those. If you want to go read an article on this, just type in unidirectional violence or bidirectional violence. Click images after you do it, and then that image will pop up, and then there's an article attached to it. You could read the whole article, but long story short, the recent data shows that women are more violent in relationships than men. The only thing you can say that men are stronger, so they hit harder, but women are, in quantity wise, more violent. That's what the recent data proves. So that whole color purple argument, she just laid out the UK foreign accent, African apartheid accent version of the color purple argument. That's what she just did, and that was some bullshit. And for that reason, we got to clown her Eddie Monster. And why women don't have to, that's the question of the day. Why don't women have to cut off their Eddie Monsters? Men are required to do that. They're not allowed to walk around with a patch of hair on the forehead at the middle of their hairline. Men have to cut that off. Why don't women have to cut off their Eddie Monsters? I'm just curious. All right, moving on.
Her child and be in a better place, and the government should step in to make sure that man that made her make that decision steps in for their kid.
Can I say something?
Wow. She said that man that made her make that decision, he made me break up this family. With them filing, and shout out to Kevin Samuels for putting this out, with the 80% of the divorces, even if we say half of them for good reasons, were for legitimate reasons, all the I like the term from Armageddon, all the worst parts of the Bible. If half of them were for all the worst parts of the Bible, all right, that still means the majority of the remaining divorces, 66% of them were filed for some bullshit. Just do the math on that. If 20% filed by men and 80% filed by women, even if you take off the half that were legitimate, that still leaves 40% that were illegitimate. You know, so I mean, you don't get an argument there. You don't get an argument there. Even if that 80% you take half away from that, that still means the majority of them are filed for no reason. That means majority of them, they just walking the fuck out.
Time that she takes to take care of the child is a thing for that better place, and the government.
You got to hear this from the beginning again.
To step in to make sure that man that made her make that decision steps in for that kid.
Can I say something?
The time that she takes to take care of the step.
I'm sorry I keep making y'all listen to this over again. I'm trying to make sure I catch it all in one clean whop.
To cut me
no
off.
Pun intended on the whop.
This is the problem, yeah? Stop acting like every woman that leaves a marriage and gets divorced is because she's this and she's that. There's a lot of women that suffer and they actually need the support and the legal incentive so that they know when they leave, somebody can back them up because they'll be on their own. Stop acting like men are angels, because there's a lot of men that are dealing with a lot of the traumas that they have from a man's world being difficult. The same way that Andrew Tate explained, a man's world is highly competitive. Men are out there suffering. It is hard to be a man. And a lot of the time, the person takes the brunt of it is the woman. So yes, she's well within her right to leave, take her child, and be in a better place. And the government should step in to make sure that man that made her make that decision steps in for that kid.
Can I say something?
The time that she takes to take care of the child is the time that she doesn't have to go to work. So she's already down on income and she's having to be taking care of the child on her own. That don't make sense. Not every man is a bloody angel and not every woman is a devil.
She said a whole lot of bullshit, but I already analyzed the main part of the bullshit she said, but the last part of the bullshit that she slipped into something that I said earlier is, like I said, when the woman is not working, she's there and available to take care of the kids. When she is working, she's the more successful, responsible adult. If the man is working, well, you're working so much, you don't have time to take care of the kids. We got to give the kids to the mom. The man is not working. Well, you're an irresponsible man, so you're not there, and we can't have the kids with the irresponsible parent. They flip the argument around depending on who's in what position.
Pick men.
Wait, hang on a minute.
I'm gonna leave. Go ahead.
Hang on a minute.
How do you do that?
When did I say a man was an angel?
How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do that?
I'm talking. No, I waited.
Yes, you did.
I waited. Right. So now it's my time to talk.
Talk to me.
What I was saying to her is that if she had got married first, then she would have been all right. She would have to be fighting for the court. So the same law that you're saying would have supported her and her child.
And
that is the difference between getting married first.
No,
and that's what I'm saying. And that's what when people were saying about
gives you more money.
Hang on a minute.
Listen, kids. It's not a good decision, yeah?
Excuse me, but I shut up when you were talking.
Go on, apologies, my auntie.
Right.
I didn't mean to disrespect you.
So what I was trying to say is that there is an incentive when women get married first and have children. Because I'm not saying that you, I'm just saying women in general. If a woman gets married first before she has a child and then it leaves, then it's totally different. Like he said before, she's set up for life. If she leaves, she's set up for life. So if somebody else
for life without marriage, though, that's the point.
No, and
what you want to hear.
No, and as a person, again, let's ask somebody who's actually going through, because none of you fucking know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to child support, lawyers, none of that shit. None of you fucking know, okay? So you don't.
Yeah, okay. She's
the reality is
she's the only one that knows, because she put an NBA player on child support, so she know how the whole system works. All right.
If I would have gotten married and did everything right and did everything the moral way, right? Guess what? All I would have addition on top of what I'm going through with child support is alimony. So
okay, so you would have had more incentive to leave. You see how they leave, but they still make it seem like it was something that happened to them. Like she basically was saying it didn't matter if we was married. The reason that I left because I think she, found out he was messing with an NBA player was messing with another chick. Wow. Okay. But anyway, she's basically saying the reason that I left, if we would have got married in advance, I still would have broke up the family for that reason and got more money, got alimony on top of child support. Like that's like how is that an argument to where she needed to interrupt the whole conversation and throw down the gauntlet and pull a rank and say, none of you know what the fuck you're talking about, because I would have broke up the family even if I signed a marriage contract. Like, that's not an argument that helps your position or makes you look better. She got a little semi vein in her forehead while making this argument that doesn't help her positioning at all.
I'm still in the courts fighting, whether I'm married or whether I'm not. So that I get what you're saying, because hey, you at least get the commitment to, maybe back up that he's going to be there, but it doesn't ensure anything. Everybody wants a fucking guaranteed thing. There's no guaranteed in life.
We're talking different places. When you're in America and you're married and you divorce, you still got to fight for your money. And would you still
not
in
have
England.
To get a lawyer.
Right, not in England. In England, you get a lawyer and it's sorted. That's the difference.
It's kind of like that in America too, even though there is some haggling and some negotiations. But at the end of the day, if the man is making significantly more than the woman and she got a lawyer, he got a lawyer, then she's going to get her money. It's all a matter of how much. So Brittany Renner is fronting on that one, and the lady here is a little ignorant to, and this is okay for her to be ignorant to that, but she's a little ignorant of how it works in America. It kind of works the same damn way.
You would have to be going there saying, "Oh, I need this for my child, and I need this." Once you get divorced and you go to court, it's that much.
Alimony and child support are different.
I'm saying she just spent £50,000. She's still fighting. You have to pay that here. You would not have.
You don't have to pay that in the States. For those that just came in late that didn't see this, Brittany Renner alleges that she paid $50,000 in lawyer fees pursuing her child support case, which is bullshit. Like I said, plenty of broke chicks done walked into courtroom with inside out pajama pants, tank tops, and house shoes with a bonnet on their head and got child support. You don't have to get $50,000 worth of, you don't have to build a goddamn OJ Simpson level legal defense team to get fucking child support. She's a goddamn lie. Like, like cut it out. That's a damn lie. And I'm sorry, it looked like I'm apparently missing super chats. I'm trying to star them. Appreciate everybody who's supporting the stream. I don't got RM in the back today to catch all the super chats. So if I missed your super chat, I do apologize, but my eyes are open. I just scrolled up to the top and caught the super chats. Hopefully I didn't miss no other ones. But Sodomy and Chicken in the building says, no wonder the interracial marriage rate for UK black men is 50%. Well, that's expected out there because the percentage of black people is so much lower to where you would expect that it for the small percentage to date out into the larger percentage. And it's also expected because I don't think their communities are as segregated as not legally segregated, of course, but our communities are segregated nonetheless in this country. So that plays a factor in it too. I don't think their communities are as segregated, and their percentage of black people is smaller. So you kind of will expect that, like, black women marry out at about the same 50% rate out there. So it's expected. But Sodomy and Chicken back in here with one more, back in here with another one. Says Pearl is cool, but she loses points for trying to turn 304 into housewife. I'm not going to, penalize her for that. I mean, are you referring to that thing that she's going to do called wife school? I think that's entertainment. I mean, this is mostly about debate. I don't like when I put it like this. I don't like when somebody is having a debate about, the social dynamics between men and women, and somebody trying to say, why you trying to say these hoes? That's what people do to derail conversations. That's what people do to try to derail conversations. And so that's why I don't go down that route and saying somebody trying to turn the person who's trying to turn a hoe into a housewife is PJ Washington. Okay, that's the person who's trying to do that. The person who's trying to have a conversation so people can hear and understand and gain some knowledge, wisdom, and insight, that person is not trying to turn a hoe into a housewife. So that just is what it is. The person who wipes up Brittany Renner is the person that's trying to turn a hoe into a housewife. All right. She says she's not helping men at all. Brittany needs to stay on the carousel. I mean, she's I guess I don't have no expectation that I don't put that responsibility on Pearl to help men. I think her job and what she's built a very elaborate, very, thriving vertical business out of YouTube, and she's killing it, and it's a good show, and it's entertaining with a lot of good information. I mean, it's good debate. It's good intellectual discourse. And if you like to hear these type of discussions, then this is one of the, oddly enough, one of the best shows for that type of debate. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, she did a good job at putting together a well-ran professional show. So I mean, that's just what it is. But I don't put the burden on her to help and save men. I don't, I'm not putting that burden on her. But I mean, appreciate the super chat. And Brittany, as far as Brittany Renner in her little rebrand, because she wilding out and she clapping and she being the same old Brittany on this one. But some of the discussions that they had, she was trying to, repackage, rebrand, or do a little bit of revisionist history and all of that. She was trying to do that. She was actually trying to do that. And I wasn't going on that. I'm like, if somebody want to go on some personal development journey, then by all means go on that personal development journey and get yourself together. But when you do take that and you bring it publicly, then I see some business motive behind it, So your public rebrand is some bullshit that I cast away. That's why I wouldn't even want to cover this, because until somebody sent me this clip right here, I wasn't even going to touch this, because I was like, nah, I'm not participating in a Brittany Renner rebrand. But if she's the same old Brittany and she's trying to debate Andrew Tate on something, I'm like, I'll listen to that. I like a good debate. I like intellectual discourse, even if the people discoursing is not that intellectual. But I still like to hear. I like to hear debate. I like to hear opposing ideas challenged. I like to see the back and forth. I like to hear the ideas, thoughts, views, and perspectives, and the things that men say, and particularly men in this space. The things that we say, I like to hear it out on the airwaves, on the loudest echo boxes. And Pearl has built a loud echo box. And if the thoughts, views, perspectives, and insights that men that baked into the cake of this space have put out there is getting out there on a larger bullhorn because of her, I give her a high five for that. But but overall, I don't. Beyond that, I don't care. I don't put that much thought into her. I mean, I watch her program. If something interesting and viral happens on it, I watch it. Shout out to Lil Big Nate. He says the only reason you agreed with just pearly things was because she's white. Yeah, right. Cut it out. But yeah, get the likes up. Get the likes up. Support the stream. Hopefully I caught everybody's super chats. Let me roll this some more.
To pay that hair. You would not have to pay that hair. You would not have to pay that hair. Do your research. You would not have to pay that hair. When you get divorced, she wouldn't be
right there. She's saying that $50,000 that Brittany Renner paid pursuing her child support case, or no, PJ Washington. She's saying he went down there and put himself on child support, but she had to pay $50 in lawyers. And this woman is saying, well, you wouldn't have to pay that here. No, you don't have to pay that here either. So it's a goddamn lie.
Going for all the battle that she's going, it'd be simpler in England to get divorced than in America.
And she'll still take your money, boys. In England, take your money. Don't get married. Have a parental partnership. Love your woman. Pay whatever.
I just want to make a point. You know what you were saying? Get married. Even Tate said it himself. Men don't want to get married anymore.
Why are you not turning what he's saying? Why are you not twisting what he's saying? You're not even listening to what he's saying.
It's not attractive anymore. It's more a loss for a man to get married.
You're taking what he's saying and you're twisting it to suit yourself.
What did you say? I'm not. He literally said, Tate, didn't you say that men are scared of getting married now?
What, yeah, okay, but why?
Because, like you said, with child support, they feel like there's no advantage.
And so alimony,
you say just get married. It's not that simple because men don't want to marry you.
Okay, so let's analyze that point. And first thing, back to the child support thing. What's actually interesting to talk about is there's a lot of countries in the world where there is no child support system and it functions, right? So you have to, if you want to pay attention to actually, learn about society as a whole, it's very interesting to study all the different societies and economies in which there is no child support and children don't die. I mean, people get divorced and they still find a way to function. And it's interesting, and it's a very long conversation because it extrapolates about how the whole society works as a whole. That's the first point. Second thing, I'll actually sit here and argue the point that I don't think any man really ever wants to get married. I think that women convince them to get married. And I think that any woman who is genuinely serious about convincing her man to get married could do it. I don't think in the modern world, at least, men wake up and go, can't wait to get married. But what they do is they get a chick who's so good and ticks so many boxes and makes them so happy. And she'll sit there and say, you know what? It would mean the world to me. Please. And he'll go, oh, for fuck's sake. All right, then. And
facts. that is facts. That is facts right there.
That's what happens. So I still think you can convince 99.9% of men to marry you. The point I was making is the society isn't convincing the man to marry you. It's not like it used to be where the man believed he had to be married. Society's done the opposite. So it's your job as a woman to make it clear to him that it is worthwhile. Once again, how would you convince a man it's worthwhile for him to say, that's my wife? Status. That's how you do it. This is a misunderstood.
When I first heard this, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about when he said not status, status. When he said status, I didn't know what the hell he was talking about, but he actually going to explain that quite well. I thought he meant something else, because men don't look at women in terms of status like women look at men. Like, you know, if a man has high status, high ranking, you know, to use Monica Lewinsky was you know, happy sucking Bill Clinton's old wrinkly dick. Bill Clinton don't give a damn about Monica Lewinsky's status. It's, do you want to suck this wrinkly dick? Okay, come on. You know, so it's like, so men don't care about status. But anyway, he's going to break down exactly what he mean by that.
Back to men as a whole is status. If you can convince that man, but by marrying you, his status will increase amongst his peers, he's going to do it. And for anyone out here who disagrees with me, the things men do for status, let's actually analyze how baseline men are. What is status? Status is respect, right? Men kill over respect. Gangs kill each other over respect. A man will smash another man's face in for insulting him. We will die for respect and status. You tell me we won't get married? We'll die for we'll go to the front line of a war, and the only reason we don't walk away and abandon our post as artillery shells rain is because we're afraid of being mocked for being a coward. We'll die for status. So status is what it's all about. It's what it's always been about. You want a man to marry you, status. And it's the same thing with nearly anything you want to do with a man. I don't know anything about your personal life. I'll be honest, I don't know, right? But I'll tell you this now. If this dude, this NBA player, believed that he would be higher respected amongst his peers and amongst society for taking care of you properly, that's what he'd fucking do. He doesn't feel that because either he's rolling with the wrong people, or you've pissed him off in a way, or something public's happened. I don't have a clue, but something's happened where he feels like if I take care of her, I'll look like a bitch. That's what he's
He just respectfully gut punched the shit out of her by saying, I don't know your personal situation. You know he know that situation. You know he know that situation. And what he just described is pretty damn accurate. Basically saying you publicly present yourself, you have publicly presented yourself like a hoe to the point to where if he takes really, really good care of you while you out here clearly thotting it up, he'll look stupid. He'll look like a bitch. He'll look like, I love my baby mama. I never let her go. He'll look like that. But if you carry yourself well and give him respect and speak and only speak well about this athlete millionaire and bring no problems or hassle to his life, he will happily give you whatever you need. That is true. And he's basically saying that he described her exact situation while saying, hey, I don't know your situation, but I'm going to accurately describe it. And bitch, you know I'm right. It's like that he respectfully gut punched her. It's like he punched her in the gut and knocked the wind out of her and put a little breathing mask on her. Here, there you go. Let's go. Just breathe. Like he did the damn thing right there. He did the damn thing right there because he know damn well he know that's her exact situation.
He's scared of. If it was inversed, he had no problem giving you money because that's how men function. I'm telling you right now, as a man, I'm telling you what I would do if I had a chick with a woman, right? And she went on the news, top cheese this and fucking like I said, I have no idea what you've done. But I'm just giving my personal made up scenario. Oh, yeah. She would go on the news, top cheese this, and he fucking lied to me. He's a piece of shit. Da, da, da. And then I bought her a Bentley. Women's like, well, look, she insults top G. She insults him, and he's a simp. Da, da, da. But if she was like, you know what? he's misunderstood. He's a good guy. It just didn't work out. Blah, blah, blah. I'd bet she'd be in a mansion, right? And would that be me being a nice guy caring about her? Or let's be honest, would it be me being a selfish piece of shit dude and saying, what makes me look better? Men are all about status. Is how we function. It's how we function as a whole. So society, this is where it extrapolates and gets interesting. When society with this new think has destroyed all of the baseline humanities and baseline understandings of how men interact with women. And now all the things we previously understood about what made a good man, what made a good woman, and how we should act together and how we should interact has been erased. Of course, men are acting like dickheads, and of course, women are doing wrong things, so nothing makes sense anymore. You've taken the chessboard and moved all the fucking pieces around. Nobody gets it. It should be very simple. I'm a man. I work hard. I take care of my woman. I'm the man of the house. She treats me with respect. She would never insult me or raise her voice to me in front of other people. She has a problem. She brings it to me in private. We act as a team. We work together. If we break up, she was a good woman to me. She fulfilled her roles the best she possibly could. I'm still a man. I'm going to take care of her. But all of that is gone. All of it's gone. All of it. And it's gone because of all the ideas we were discussing earlier, the feminism, the new age bullshit, the fucking dudes left and right and center, all these things. All these baseline things have eroded society to the point where now you have men ignoring their paternal instinct. You have men who will sit there and go, that's my child, but I fuck her. That's actually a massive observation to make about how fucked up society is. And it shouldn't be that way because men in a lot of the world are not like that. And so you have to look at all these small things, the small things we talk about. It's no big deal. She goes on boats in Miami. It's no big deal. It is a big deal because now that dude ain't going to want to fucking pay child support because you were on those fucking boats with his fucking other team.
And the thing is that
do you think that men
boats with no big deal? It is a big deal because now that dude ain't going to want to fucking pay child support because you were on those fucking boats with his fucking the other team.
And the thing is that
do you think that men
literally you're on those boats fucking the other team? Like, you know she didn't mess with some NBA players since her and PJ Washington broke up. Like I said, he's describing her like you're on your dude played for the damn I forgot. Okay, I forgot who he played for. I just watched him fucking play. Oh, I'm having a brain fart. I just watched him play the Lakers, and he played for Charlotte, right? Yeah. You know why I didn't mess up? See, I said Charlotte before y'all said anything. You know why I messed up? Because I just had a brain fart over the Bobcats and the Hornets. That was my brain fart. Because they were the Charlotte Bobcats, now they're the Charlotte Hornets, and so yeah, that's why I was like, I know you don't play for the damn Bobcats. Why am I saying Bobcats? Is Bobcats even a team? They got me. They got me. They was the Charlotte Bobcats for a little while. I forgot. They switched over like 6 years ago, but my brain just went back to like 2017. My brain went back to 2017, so I was like, he played for the But anyway, okay, he played for the Charlotte Hornets. All right, your baby daddy played for the Charlotte Hornets, and then he see you on an Atlanta Hawks yacht party fucking the other team. He described her situation exactly. He don't want to pay child support to you. You now he got a game against the Atlanta Hawks. They like, yeah, your baby mama was on our boat. think about that. I'm just saying that will inspire a man to not be so energetic about paying child support or doing anything extra to help your ass out. Yeah.
That was well said, Sagittarius.
Thank you very much.
Do you think that men marry for like high status families? Like I'm thinking of like Ivanka Trump.
She said that was very well, Sagittarius. I can't stand Zodiac. As Game Changer calls them, Zodiac bitches, who think that where the stars are aligned has something to do with your personality. That just drives me crazy that in the 21st century that people still think like that. Destroyer of Simps. Shout out to you, Destroyer of Simps. He says, there's an ancient quote of wisdom Don't listen to what a woman says. Watch her actions. Brittany says a bunch of stuff and simps believe her, but her actions, she shows she's full of cap, like most women. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Destroyer of simps. I greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate it. All right. The link is in the chat. Anybody want to come on up and give your thoughts and weigh in on this conversation? It was a good conversation. That was pretty much the part of it that I wanted to talk about, the part of it that somebody sent me, because I didn't watch all this shit. But that was a part that I opted to take a look, to give a look-see. That was a part that I looked at. Someone else sent me some interesting time stamps that I haven't even seen. So I'm about to really jump out there on a limb. And watch something that I have not yet seen. I'm about to go to the wait a minute. Okay, so I'm about to go to the 2 hour and 3 minute mark. This better be interesting. Person who sent me this, you know who you are. 2 hour and 3 minute mark.
Understand all these small sub dynamics and why things are happening and why the world is the way it is. And the baseline of it is that everything's fucked. Men are acting like men and women are acting like women, and it's all messed up.
Oh yeah.
Wait, so what about like your own autonomy and like just like you can, your favorite car is your favorite car, my favorite car is my favorite car. Like, why does it have to?
Okay,
I guess that's where I'm confused. Like, why does it have to be like that?
Yeah, and that's a good point, right? I understand that completely, but I'll give you an example. I'll talk from personal experience because it makes it easy for me. I have a bunch of cars. I love cars. I have 32 cars. My favorite car is X. I pick up a chick. This is my, what's your favorite car? This one. I like that one. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, no big deal. But the agreeableness is ultra attractive. It depends what the woman wants to do, right? If I was a woman, and let's say I'm 22 years old and I meet a billionaire, and it's my goal to marry this man, and I go to his house, and I say, wow, you have so many cars. What's your favorite car? This one. Really? I thought that one too. It looks so good. Why that one? Because this. Oh, really? Okay, I'll try and remember that. That's how you get the dude, right? You don't get the dude by going, well, that one's a better color. You're a dickhead. It may be small things. It may be tiny things, but men are ultra interested in things like agreeableness. So we're ultra interested in the idea of a woman absorbing our worldviews. We're ultra interested.
It's very true that when a man tries to absorb aspects of the woman's worldview and change for her, she kind of loses respect for him. But when she change, adapt, or absorb aspects of his worldview, as Andrew Tate just said, that men will, respect her more, will like her more, will be more likely to love her when she's changing herself for him. But the man that changes the women, that dries them up. The only possible exception, like if he's a real hard, rough around the edges guy and she pulls a softer side out of him, she might like that. But overall, no. The women, shouldn't be adjusting and changing and shit for women. Like, no, that's not how it goes.
We are. That's what we're looking for.
That's taken away from the woman's identity. What
if you say
she doesn't like the car?
No.
So
wait.
You just said, yeah. See, now this is a disagreeable chick that no self-respecting masculine man is going to be with. She's saying me adjusting and changing and adopting aspects of your worldview and being led by you, I'm losing my identity. So you come follow me. Like that's an unspoken word in there.
Agree to a car that she doesn't like. Why do you want to be with someone
she doesn't
that
have
doesn't know who they are?
She doesn't have to agree.
Can I say, I like this one. This is my favorite, but I like yours too. Yours is quite nice, Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's quite good. But I like this one, but I like that one as well.
You sound like you want a slave.
Is that fine?
That doesn't have their own mind.
That's just not going against me. It's just being nice. It doesn't cost you much.
It's like
men don't want a girl that's nagging on them for the smallest things. It's like, why are you giving a guy a headache?
No, that's not nagging. That's not nagging. That's not nagging though.
He's saying, oh, what car do you like? Why does she have to say his car? Like she likes a different car.
I just gave you a solution though.
I am talking about how as a female to be as attractive as possible to men. Now, I'm not saying you can't get a man if you say another car. I'm saying, how do you be as attractive as possible? Because
Be nice about it.
because you also don't understand how men think. It's different if you come to my house and choose to like another one of my cars. But what if I only have one car? And now you say, well, no, I picked you up in my BMW. Oh, yeah, it's nice. I prefer Mercedes. You know what a man thinks the second you say that? Who picked you up in a Merc? That's the first thing that goes through his fucking mind. How do you know about Mercedes?
What
Who
if you,
put you in a
what
fucking
if you
Merc?
can buy your own Mercedes?
That's not what crosses the man's mind. I'm telling you how men think.
But then that's why,
Denava,
Yes,
what percent of women can really afford their
bro,
Mercedes?
especially when you go.
I just skipped past the part where a chick threw the word slave out there. And we know that that's a thing. We've seen that a million times. Whenever we talking about a woman, you know, being submissive or following the lead of her man in any way, shape, or form, that's what they pull that out into the conversation. They pull out the slave talk. They pull out the slave talk. Yeah. So I glossed right over that because I haven't even seen this. So I was just kind of just giving it a first list. Something I don't like to do. I like to watch stuff first, so then I can fully form a thought. Sometimes live react is cool, but I just skipped. I skipped that part. I just was like, whatever. I've heard that before.
No, guys. I said a Mercedes. I said what percent of women?
I drive a BMW.
I said
A 1992 BMW. Shut the hell up. That motherfucker with a check engine light on it. Like, cut it out.
Okay. I'm really happy.
Yeah, I've seen them Instagram pictures where they'll take a picture of the BMW logo on their car, but it's zoomed in where you can't see nothing else on the car. Because when you see the rest of the damn car, you realize that they driving a goddamn 93 BMW with 375,000 miles on it.
Happy for you. I'm really happy for you. I said, the average woman makes $35,0and a year.
It's not that hard in this UK.
That's okay. I said, I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy for your car. But the average woman, I'm saying but the whole point is that what percent of women even earn that much? It's not a high percentage. So when a guy hears that wait. When a guy hears that you've been in this car and that car and that car, his automatic assumption is that you're an average girl.
Not foolishness.
And that you've been with a bunch of guys to get to that point. I've had a lot of experiences because of my dad, because my dad's very successful. But I've been in situations where I've said, like, oh, I did this, and they think it's with a guy, but it's with my dad. Because most guys assume that you are an average person.
And that's the
problem. You don't think that's demeaning a woman to say that she can't afford a laptop?
It's not demeaning a woman. It's looking at a balance of probabilities. If I meet an average guy, I assume he makes average money.
Sounds like a traumatized
I think it's just based on what. Wait, stop it. Wait.
All right, we got Azrael, the Daywalker.
Yes. Good evening. Okay, actually, good afternoon. You sound like a vampire, Nate. How you put it out? I'm gonna be a bit contrarian, a little bit. You know,
Go ahead.
You know when people say about, to me, I don't like. Okay, let me play devil's advocate. I should say, like when people talk about the SBE thing, right? To me, it's like
you come on.
No. What I'm saying is, hear me out. It's not that. What I'm saying is, it's like to entertain someone like a Brittany Renner when she already knows she's already a disagreeable individual.
Hold on, wait, stop. See, that's where the bullshit comes in.
No, I'm not talking about you per se. I'm just saying.
No, that's overall bullshit to say to entertain. Like she's running the show, she's running the business. She got two polarizing figures. Brittany Renner is a prop on her show to bring this shit got 1.6 million views.
Hear me out. What I'm saying is it's bigger than that. No, what I'm saying is even the other girl, like as soon as he said, oh, about the car, she's like, you mean to tell me I can't have my mind for myself? To me, it's like these women, they know how to get a man, but they just prefer to just be difficult. That's all I'm trying to say.
Of course, and they get caught on their bullshit and made to look stupid.
Yeah,
but if they actually make an argument, or if they actually make a real argument, and it's a debate back and forth, and you're going to win or lose the debate on the merits. But normally, the people who take the position more similar to what we take normally win these debates. So it's nothing wrong if you have a position of view and you have a platform and you build content and build a platform on your position and on your views. And somebody who has an opposing view come up and try to challenge you, and they only reduce down to straw man and gaslighting arguments and you dunk on that shit, then yes, then your side looks better. Your side
absolutely
wins.
I agree.
And then your thoughts, views, and perspectives just dunked on the other side's thoughts, views, and perspectives, and the whole world got to see it. That is a good thing. And anybody who say anything other than that, they are trying to derail a conversation.
I agree.
And they are trying to kick legs out from under the platform. That they're trying to kick legs out from under the table that people have built their YouTube channels on, and that is some bullshit.
But you know, I always support you, and 1,000%. I'm not necessarily focused on what, not even with you. I'm just talking about even with Pearly. I'm just thinking to myself, like, in my mind, I'm like, these women not gonna. To me, in my mind, it's like these women are not gonna change.
Of course they're not. Of course they're not. But so Pearly and Andrew Tate could just have a monotonous conversation, just saying stuff. She asks him a question, he gives a statement, and then she says, "Oh, I agreed." And she says something, and he says, "Oh, I agree." They could just have a boring conversation like that, or they could put in some live participants to challenge it and have a debate. I think the live challenge in the debate is much more entertaining and much more more fruitful. And when
absolutely, I hear you. And I just want to point out something too. If you notice, whenever he would make a point that shows like how should I put it, like how they're in the wrong, or they know like they on some BS, they start to smile. Like when he mentioned the thing about the 32 cars, Brittany started to smile because she knows what the deal is. She knows to be that's how she got PJ being all nice and whatnot. She knows that she's supposed to be agreeable. It's like, you know what I mean? They all started smiling because they know it. And I'm not, that's what I'm saying. I'm not attacking the platform, Pearly, or anything like that. I'm just personally saying it irritates me when I see these women acting like they don't know how to get a man. Like, I don't know. Or like, for example, I agree with you when you're talking about how the whole thing about her spending $50,000, like that irked me. That triggered me. I'm like, you full of shit. Excuse my language. But
no,
I'm like,
I said you
know what I mean?
Too. I use the same language.
Like,
no big deal.
And then when people, she was on social media talking about, the $2,500 that she get for child support that only covers the rent. And I'm like, that's BS. I know he's spotting you more than that. The kind of dude he is, I know. If he was willing to get with you,
that strong of a simp ain't only paying the 25, only paying the mandatory $2,500 a month.
Exactly.
But Andrew Tate explained it to her exactly right. I mean, exactly right, to where if you shut the hell up and conduct yourself properly in society and everything, then this card carrying simp would have no problem giving you everything you need. So if he is pulling back, it's because you talking bad about him. You out here looking like a hoe. You out here fucking the Atlanta Hawks, and then they gotta play them the next night, and they like, they're like,
prime example. Remember what happened?
Got some good pussy. Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine somebody guarding you and they tell you that your baby mama got some good pussy?
Yeah. Shout out to KG and Carmelo when he said your white Lala tastes like Honey Nut Cheerios. Remember that? And then remember that? And then Carmelo wanted to come and fight him outside at the with the sports bus. The team bus.
I would argue that it's probably at least 5 people in the NBA that could say they've messed with his woman. At least 5. And I'm being generous.
Yeah.
No, shit. When she did that initial video in the car where she said she's been with, I think she said she's been with like 16 either athletes or celebrities. Probably this was like 6 years ago. This was 6 years ago where she was talking about it's so easy. They don't use condoms. It's so easy to trap one of them. It's like, so nah, she's got a roster. She's got a whole roster. So yeah, that's all messed up. But what's up, GC? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I came up to ask, how come it's only 184 likes, but over 300 people are watching?
Yeah, y'all get the goddamn likes up and support the stream. I normally don't even say that, but yes, super chat is open, like Jackie is saying right there. Support the stream, get the likes up, do all that good stuff. Y'all know the deal. But go ahead. Oh, what's up?
Can I also mention one thing too?
Okay,
and prime example of that too. Not only with the Carmelo thing. You remember when, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was when Steph Curry, they were playing Houston in the playoffs. And it was around that time that Aisha went on the Red Table Talk.
Yeah.
And he had one of the worst games. Like he missed like an open dunk.
Yeah, for those that don't know, don't remember, Aisha went on the red tabletop. That's what Darth City is. I mean, Jada Pinkett Smith and everything. And she said she went on there and she was talking about how she don't get attention from men anymore. She married Steph Curry, but she don't get attention from men anymore. And Steph Curry, he has these women, all these women want him. And he gets attention from all these women, and I never get any of that. No men ever give me any attention. And she was talking like how she just missed male attention. Now, obviously, guys are looking at her. I mean, she was attractive. Men look at her with admiration. Some men talk to her. They're extra nice to her. They're in their own look, even if they ain't just shooting a full blown shot. They're giving some type of attention to this woman. It just so basically. She need a stronger dope. She got used to that. She need a stronger dopamine hit, or just crave a stronger dopamine hit. And she put that out there. And then we can't prove it, but the Warriors was up 3-1 against the Cavs in the NBA Finals. And the only time in NBA history somebody ever came back from being down 1-3.
That was in Houston.
Oh no, I thought that was in the.
No, because I don't remember. He had like a bad game against the Houston Rockets, and they got blown out by like 30 points. Like that next day that Table Talk came out.
Okay, well I know it was the same year that they blew that 3-1 finals lead. But either way, I thought it was during that series. But either way it go, it affected his play out on the court. They was talking shit to him after that. But shout out to Jackie Jack sending a $5 super chat. Do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody supporting the stream. But all right, go ahead, GC. You got the flow. You got the flow. You got the mic.
Game changer.
You are muted. You are muted.
Yeah. No, I'm here. I'm here. I was actually getting a picture ready, a photograph, because people, I don't like y'all talk y'all sports stuff, but get the nerd stuff right. I don't do the sports reference unless I'm somewhat in the ballpark. So get the nerd stuff right. She is not Darth Sidious. I repeat, she is not Darth Sidious. Here, let me show you who she is.
You were talking about Jada.
Yeah. That is Jada Pinkett.
Ventress.
Yes.
Shout out to Ventress.
Yes.
Clone Wars
Jada
fan.
Pinkett is Ventress. Ventress favors red. Ventress has that head. That is Ventress. She is also a semi-Sith Lord. She does not follow the rule of two. She is now considered to be a dark Jedi. But nevertheless, that is a more accurate representation of Jada Pinkett. Okay. Darth Sidious is someone completely different. Ventress is a Night Sister, meaning that she is part of the sisterhood. That is her. So
Count Dooku is like Count Dooku right now is saying Count Dooku was like, keep my apprentice name out your effing mouth.
Hey, Will Smith, come see me. Come see me. I need a large court settlement. I am not Chris Rock. I will sue. I will
Chris
sue.
Rock.
And
Chris Rock gonna make more. Chris Rock gonna make more on the Netflix special talking about Will Smith than what he making a lawsuit at this point. He gonna get paid off that slap. But,
absent that ability, I am going to flop. I will flop, and you will see me in a neck brace with a cane. Actually, I'll be in a wheelchair the next day. If you do some crap like that, yes, it will be over. I will be getting money like Brittany Renner. Like you will be paying like a monthly stipend for a very long time.
Game Changer gonna get hit by Will Smith coming out looking like Martin on the episode. When he was, I forgot the box.
Oh, wait, Tommy Hearns.
Tommy Hearns. Yeah.
That's exactly how I would show up to court. That is exactly how I would show up to court. So yes, Will Smith, your wife is Ventress. If you don't like me, slap me.
All right.
So yeah.
Well, go ahead, GC. I don't know what you got. I know you covered this topic earlier this morning, but you can go ahead and give you thoughts on the whole little thing that it was with Andrew Tate and Brittany Renner on Pearly Things, which you generally got on that, or at least on the parts that I covered of it.
So I didn't see the parts that you covered. I just got here.
Okay. Actually, no, I think I covered part of what you covered though.
Okay, perfect.
But anyway, just go ahead and give us whatever you got on it.
Yeah, so that chick in the middle is an idiot. Like, she just really wanted to say stuff. You know, she just kept throwing out those whole cliche phrases, and you know, she felt uncomfortable. You could tell she was uncomfortable being the least hottest light-skinned chick there. You know, she didn't want to just embrace that. So she tried to make up for it by over talking and chiming in with random stuff, and she could not hang at all with Andrew Tate. He was killing it. Now, the status thing, and I do think that a lot of the women were feeling uncomfortable. They were feeling uncomfortable because status is something that not all women can offer a man. They can't. In fact, a lot of women, okay, let's put it like this. Say you marry a 40+ single mom that's overweight, right? And then these chicks say, oh, yes, I treat my man real good, but you are not giving him status. People are going to look down on that man because all he can marry is you.
Mm-hmm.
I repeat, all he can marry is you. Therefore, people are not going to look at that man the same. And then if you go online and say stuff like, I was able to get married even though I'm fat, then people are going to really just have a disdain and disrespect for that man. They are. Now, it's greater status for you, granted, but that status is taken from him. He's going to look like small penis. That's what that looks like.
Yeah. It's funny if you know who he's talking about. It probably sounds weird if you
I don't know the size of anybody's penis, but I'm
no, not that part. Not that part. The whole setup, other than yeah.
Well, no, it's a bad look on anybody. It's a bad look on anybody. So that's so no, I mean, well, the closer you are to 40-year-old single mom pussy, the further you are from Andrew Tate. That is how that works. So when he says that, the woman, and I'm talking about the woman who looks like the chick from Sanford and Sons, the Darcy, the one with the leather on. It was leather. Is leather. The one that was sitting there with the leather on. You know, she felt a certain type of way because she understood that she could never be Brittany because she don't have what the men that she wants, and that is the ability to give him bragging rights.
Well,
there's no bragging rights to her vagina. There is none.
I get that, but see, Brittany in her own way has reduced the overall value and status of being with her as well. Like, so in her own way, the value and status of her vagina is very low.
Okay. Here's the thing about Brittany Bernard.
Mm-hmm.
The value of her vagina has extremely diminished to basketball players. It has increased to people who are a fan of basketball players. There is a certain prestige, so to speak, for a guy like yourself and the gentleman above me for fucking a basketball player's ex. Why? Because you can say that your favorite person, the person you watch on TV, hoop it up and stuff, this is the vagina that you are now in. There is a certain thrill in that. So she does have that to you and to others like
I know, but okay, but let's lay it out though. She went from somebody that was held in high regard in basketball players because they was all smashing her, I guess, to the point to where a lot of them don't want nothing to do with her. Sure. To the point to where regular dudes, like, I mean, okay, if I was in like a friends with benefit, you know, whatever ship with Brittany Renner, I could brag on that. Just regular me making, you know, regular money. I could brag on that. But even then, I'm still sitting there thinking like, I ain't about to mess with her for real. I mean,
no, not for real. I'm just saying she
So,
does give
but-
you bragging rights.
yeah, it's the bragging rights.
Put it
Just,
like
yeah,
this.
just to
Put
be
it like
able to
this,
just
Bernard.
to be able
The
to
closest
casually
you
hold on
will
to
ever
be,
get to the NBA is Brittany Renner's pussy. Is that true?
yeah, and then just to be able to just be able to casually say Brittany Renner? Oh yeah, I fucked her. You know, yeah, to be able to say that, yeah, that's some bragging rights.
I want to say this prime example. I mean, look, Biggie had a whole music song about that. I got a story to tell talking about him smashing one of the Knicks players' wife, right? And you got, I mean, LeBron's mom, like that's notorious. LeBron literally had to, for one of the reasons, he had to leave Miami, he had to leave Cleveland, and they say he had to be sedated because of what I forgot his name. He's cracked out now, but Delonte West. Yeah, Anthony Mason.
Wait,
yeah,
no. That's from the Biggie story. Delonte West. That's LeBron. Yeah.
Yeah, LeBron. See, I mean, that's dudes have been, people have almost been killed because of stuff like that. That's why he probably get it on the court all the time. The same thing. Look at prime example with Antonio Brown trying to insinuate that he was smashing Gisele Bündchen. You know, people take that very seriously.
Yeah, it's bragging rights. So I'm not saying that she has the premium, however, she does have more than that other chick on the panel.
Yeah.
And that other chick on the panel was feeling it. Her vagina is regular. It's 87 octane, and it will always be that. In fact, it'll go down worse. Like it'll turn. It's 87 octane now. Pretty soon it'll be apple juice. Like that is what her pussy is. She's upset because in asking, what can women offer men like you, men like Andrew Tate? Because that's her dream goal is to get a guy like Andrew Tate. And he says the thing that you do not have.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I do like Auntie. I think her name is Auntie Wanda. I like her a lot.
That's the older chick that was on the show.
No, I think it's just Auntie.
Oh no, was that the older? So, a game changer. Are you talking about the older chick?
Yeah, I'm talking about the older chick on the show. Yeah,
the older chick. Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, she did have some decent things to say. She didn't talk that much in the clips that I was showing, but when she did say some decent things. Osama Abdu in the building says great PM show yesterday night. Shows planned 2023. It will be some changes and revamps and all kind of stuff going on in here. I'm going to finally do what I've been saying I'm gonna do for the longest and have basically in studio guests set up the whole works. Yeah, it's gonna be live. It's gonna be live. Big plans. It's gonna be literally January. That's the cutoff time of which is gonna happen. January. So next month. Shout out to Mike and Vince Perkins in the building. I don't know why I zoomed in on the picture. I just if from when it's smaller, it looked like you were standing behind your brother, like he's your bodyguard. So that's why I was like, let me look a bit. Okay, no, y'all just standing side by side. Okay, all right. Anyway, all right, go ahead. You got the mic.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all addressed it or not, but like a lot of what Brittany and even the other two young ladies are saying, like I think a lot of people what they need to do is just say, okay, let's say everything you said was logical, practical, and made all the sense in the world that this is the way it should go. Like it never matters if the men you want don't believe it. You know what I mean? Like it never matters if the men you want ultimately just don't believe any of the things that you're saying work for them. So like even with the child support argument, like if dudes are very much de-incentivized to give you a kid, marry you, whatever, then ultimately you lose because that's how you function. You function with those things in place. Whereas a dude is like parentally invested in everything that you're doing. Like I have an ex-wife, she'll always have the fact that I only have kids with her. So if she does call me, even if it's reluctantly, that I want to do the thing that she's asking me to do, I know that ultimately affects my kids. So I'm gonna like do it, even if it's begrudgingly, even if I literally just don't want to do it. I'm probably gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? What Brittany and other women have to do, they have to overcome.
What kind of stuff can she call and ask you to do? Like,
reasonable stuff. Reasonable stuff, obviously, man. I mean, like
you to come, if she buy a new bed, she wants you to come put it together. You going in there doing?
Nah, No, I'm not going in her bedroom. Not even going in her house. Okay, but the thing that I'm
What's wrong
saying
with you?
is
Just
that,
shovel the snow, though. Just shovel the snow.
man, my boys are 16 and 14. Man, they have arms and legs. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying
I
if
was
it's
sitting there, I was sitting there trying to think in my head, what's the most simpish thing that you could do for an ex-wife? Because I understand what you're saying.
fix her bed. It's like fix her bed is like up there because like I'm literally fixing the bed so that so that eventually some other dude can.
Because this is such thing as, okay, let's just say she just bought a new TV and she want to hang it up. Your kid's gonna watch that TV and play the video game on that TV. So that's one of them. She could put the kids on the phone. Daddy, could you come put up the TV? And then you go over there and put up the TV. But if it's something in her bedroom, you fixing some shit up for her and her man.
Nah, but see, but this is the thing. Even with you saying that, the fact that it's even a discussion is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, you have to go down the line of things that you'd be like, nah, I wouldn't do that. But even the fact that it's a discussion sort of brings up the argument that me being parentally invested, it's like I know that everything that I do for her is kind of going to affect my kids. Now, obviously, I'm not fixing her bed set and whatever, but if it's something that needs to be done, you're a jerk, man. You're a jerk.
Oh, you gotta glue this back together for me, man.
Make sure you screw it in nice and tight, and make so it don't be falling apart when they.
It's like the headboard's kind of damaged. Could you fix it? Yeah. Could you fix the headboard? It's damaged.
You can't have that headboard too loose. We don't want it all. And boom.
Yeah, but
you got to make sure that
Gorilla Glue because the headboard split in half.
Right, y'all trying to make me jump off a bridge, but anyways, like having a man be parentally invested is the thing that all of those women are kind of missing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then the second thing that I think that Brittany specifically is missing is that a lot of what she lost has nothing to do with her knowing her value, all of that stuff. She lost trust publicly with men, and she doesn't have the luxury of anonymity. Whereas a lot of women, you can just kind of move somewhere else, even another city. And if your man hates your guts because you betrayed him in any way, shape, or form, that's fine. But she wrote a book. She did the car video and then literally executed the car video plan, like immediately. And it's just like she lost trust with men and she can't overcome that until she at least addresses it. So like her ability to land a guy that is even a guy who's $70,000, like, me and you from Michigan, like $70,000 in Michigan is good. Her ability to land even that guy is probably not as high as she thinks. Because a dude making $70,000 in Michigan can get a girl who looks like Brittany Renner here. You know what I'm saying? The version of that looks like that here. And maybe that's a 7 here, but a 5 in LA. Who knows? But I'd be happy with a woman I can trust here. You know what I mean? That wasn't Brittany Renner. Then to get Brittany Renner and be like, man, I wonder if she's going to do the thing that she did. You know what I mean? Even if I don't have the money, you know what I'm saying? That makes it make sense that she would do that. It's like, I don't want, and then it goes back to the status thing. I'm carrying around the woman who openly did a treacherous, distasteful, untrustworthy thing. And then I have to bring her around. And thus my status is not as high as it once would have been if I'm bringing her around. You know what I mean? And she's missing that whole thing and won't address it. She won't address the book. She won't address the car video. She won't address that she executed the car video plan in succession.
Well, actually, she do, but she do it in such a sidestepping, gaslighting kind of way. So that's why
I don't know what it is.
Like it's that's why it's like whatever with her is like you don't take her serious. Like I said, she's a stand-in prop. If she wants to come in and debate, it's going to be some fireworks. if she actually come with it and try to debate her points and argue her points. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. But any dude who actually taking, especially a dude with some money and status, if he's taking her serious in real life, he's an idiot. Like PJ Walker is an
Washington.
idiot. Disrespectful to his name. Washington. PJ Walker is an idiot. Did I say it right? Walker. It was Washington. Walker. PJ Washington. I've been calling him Walker for a while. I'm so off today.
But you know, you're thinking of another sucker, Antoine Walker. PJ
Washington is an idiot, and he went and got with some other IG model and got her name tatted on
Alicia Chanel. And, she already a baby mama too.
Yeah, he got her pregnant.
What's the car video?
The car video is the one where she literally came out and basically was saying that, and this was before. This is when I first saw her. I was like, "Who is this chick?" You know, she basically came out and was talking about how she's had sex with, I don't know if it was 16 or 22 professional athletes, and was like, they would be so easy to trap. None of them use condoms and this or that. She was just basically talking about them, trying to make them look, stupid and reckless and irresponsible. But everybody is sitting there looking like, bitch, you nasty as hell. But she just, she basically just admitted having raw sex with professional athletes, talk about how easy it would be to trap them. Then she wrote a book about her escapades with professional athletes. And then she went and got a professional athlete, got the baby, but she basically executed Order 66 on what she was talking about, essentially. So, I mean, it was like, that's why I say PJ Washington is a special kind of stupid, like to go get caught up, take her serious. Because I do believe her. I mean, the son is named PJ Washington III. So it's like, yeah, he took her serious. He was trying to go all the way with her. And it's like, damn, like she literally, you can look at the whole battle plan on the internet and see exactly what she was planning on doing. So that's why I say he's a special kind of stupid. But
I want to say this, Bernard, you also forgot to mention she was bragging more or less about her having yeast infections too.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, no, it's so many. Like I don't take the time to go digging that shit up, but there are people who got compilations of her just saying all kind of stuff that no man with any ounce of respect for himself would have taken seriously.
She's our generation superhead, to be honest. Keep it true.
Well, Superhead is still Superhead, so I think that we should just let Superhead be the now. So it's like saying.
She didn't retire. Yeah, that is true. Superhead didn't retire.
She didn't put up the jersey yet. She's still scoring buckets, right?
Yeah, we could say Buffy the Body kind of retired, but Superhead still trying to be out there. She got a podcast talking about her shit, So yeah,
it's like calling Luka the new LeBron. It's like LeBron is still in the league, by the way. So he's still putting up buckets. So
Stephen A would say pulling up from 30.
Right. Yeah. Nah, where she is messing up is that she won't address the trust issue, and like a dude would have to be stupid to go after PJ and knowing what happened. And like PJ is stupid, he's an idiot, you know what I'm saying, by idiot measures, but he still is a guy, and we have to although we here we call him an idiot every which way, but we have to also protect ourselves. So I don't think any dude of means would ever just choose to go into that situation, because even celebrities are not fucking with her. You know what I mean?
Cam Newton said it too. He said he would never be caught dead with her because of that book.
Nah. Yeah. I mean, but she doesn't. The fact that she doesn't address it is kind of funny. Now she's saying I allowed myself to be used by these men. And it's like, come on.
Yeah, right? I didn't watch the whole one-on-one interview with her and Pearly, but like I think she asked her the right questions that got her to talk about it. But like I said, she addresses it, but it's very sidestepping and hand wavy and gaslighting, and so but at the end of the day, I don't care. She's a prop stand-in for debates. That's how I look at it. But
clicks and views.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. She don't even realize she's being really used. Like she's just a prop she's the prop for the modern day woman stand-in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, Pearly know what she's doing. If she built a channel big like Brittany Renner, she's upholding some type of status. She only come on, really the smallest channel she ever came on is probably Anton, which I didn't see that. I don't know if he put it on Patreon or if it was public, or I didn't get the notifications. I forgot about it.
You put in clips,
yeah,
not the full
okay.
interview,
So,
though.
all right, so yeah, I think he be working that Patreon game pretty strong. I need to get on that. But yeah, the full interview is for his patrons. But anyway, I was about to wrap it up. But Christian Hudson in the building, he says a normal dude making $150K working at Ford as a project manager don't want her because he knows she won't ever be satisfied, even though she is broke. That's an interesting point as well. Yeah, she's in a rare point. She's in a rare position where the only man she'll be satisfied with is the men who not going to take her seriously. Like, so I mean, but and again, I don't care about getting too deep into analyzing her shit. It's just when she say some bullshit like, I had to pay $50,000 in lawyers to pursue a child support case, but I didn't file the child support. He filed it, but I had to get a lawyer and pay him $50,000. You know, like when somebody say bullshit, I like to pick apart the bullshit. That's what I do. That's what I do. But far as getting into her personal, yeah, I'll pick apart the bullshit words to come out of your mouth. That's where I'm at with it. But thank you to everybody who supported the stream, contributed in any way, shape, or form. Do appreciate each and every one of you, everybody who in the building, who like, share, subscribe, did anything to support the stream any way, shape, or form. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are
peace.
Kenneth Williams. Oh no, not yet. Kenneth Williams in the building, dropping 5 on it at the buzzer. Thank you very much. Do appreciate you. Thank you very much. Do appreciate you. And Mike, stay there. I do want to talk to you about something. Kenneth Williams in the building. Appreciate the super chat. And now, with that said, if anybody want to interrupt me with a super chat when I'm trying to get out of here, that's perfectly fine. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace.